Right. Hello. Um, I'm here to do a presentation for my infographic that I made. Um, my name is Sam Dypham. Here I am, really professional here. It's a beautiful day outside, and I'm spending it making this presentation, recording this. So please be grateful. Um, uh, very, very depressing topic, um, which you'll see in a second. I don't want to spoil it. I'm teasing it right now. I do apologize for the camera quality. My laptop, it's my laptop webcam, and apparently it's the oldest laptop known to man. So here we are. Can't see my face in all its glory. How sad. Um, but let's get into it. The topic, as I said, is very depressing. Men and suicide. Um, it's quite a big thing. Um, that in my opinion, doesn't get talked about enough. Um, growing up, never really spoken about mental health issues and stuff in school or with family. It's never ingrained as a man. It's never really spoken about. I also went to an all boys school growing up, so there was there was no feelings being talked about there. And if anyone was to speak about their feelings, right, they would just be ostracized, bullied. You can't show any form of weakness in those environments, and that is not healthy at all. At all, okay? Um, and now, still at the age of 23, I don't really know how to talk about my feelings properly. I'm learning, but that's just my experience as a man. And I'm sure a lot of men have the exact same experience, which is it leads into this stuff like this, right? So you can see the most depressing poster known to man. Let me see if I can zoom in on it a second. Actually, let's take it all in first. It's a very mellow, very depressing to look at actually, which I think um I don't know. I decided that was the vibe. Um and I like how it turned out. I think it looks quite good. I think quite artistic. I didn't make any of the art, but I put it together. So there's that. Um yeah, it's quite there's sort of a beauty in melancholy, isn't there? That's the sort of vibe I was going for. Um but anyway, I'll stop yapping about stuff that isn't important. Let's get into the waffling, sorry. Let's get into the I wanted to say meat, but that's not the word. I don't know the word. Let's just get into it. Um, I hope this is zooming in on the recording. Um, but here's the first statistic. Um, that suicide is the leading cause of death for men under 50. Um, that's like more than car accidents, more than heart attacks, more than just like work accidents, more than cancer. That's quite messed up. Um, and I don't know. It's just like more should be done about that. Um, and out of those under 50-year-old men, um, men that are in the age bracket of 40 to 49 are the most likely to commit suicide. Um, so middle-aged men out there suffering in silence. Um, talk to your dads, bro. Didn't mean to say bro. Just talk to your dads. Talk to your brothers. Talk to them. Be like, hey man, you okay? Go get them like a coffee or something, or some flowers. That's nice. Um, here's another awful statistic. Uh, 12 men in the UK die by suicide every single day. So let's do some quick maths right now. That's one every 2 hours. Um, yeah, That's horrible. That's just in the UK as well. How many men are in the UK? Quite a lot, but compared to the world, I don't know. That's it's messed up. It's messed up. There needs to be more awareness. So that equates to 4,200 deaths every year. It's just very sad. Just very sad, isn't it? So in 2017, this is more than the average. 5,000. Oh, no, never mind. Ignore me. 5,821 suicides were registered. So that's between men and women, and anything in between. But 75% of those were men. So what's that about? Why are men killing themselves more than women? Why is it not like a 50-50, or why is it not more even? That is a huge debate in itself. I can spitball a couple things. It's like societal pressures, patriarchy doesn't always benefit men, guys. I guess they're the only two I can think of right now, but you get the point. You get the point. I really hope I'm moving this in the recording. If not, you're gonna have no idea what's going on. But it doesn't matter. I'll figure that out. So the most common methods of suicide in men is here they are. You got poisoning at 18.2%, I believe that says. You have hanging at 59.7%. That's the most common one. I do wonder what it is in America, because they do have access to guns, and I feel like that's probably an easier way. It's probably more common, at least, not easier. Just don't know what I'm talking about. But I haven't looked into the American ones, because this is specifically about the UK. But falls or fractures, 5.7%. Drowning, now that's a crazy one. That is 4% exactly. I think that's more in women. Poisoning and drowning in women is a lot more compared to men, where hanging and shooting is more common, which is weird. I don't want to say it's funny, because it's very morbid, but they're more likely to have like a more messy suicide, which it says a lot about, I guess, societal expectations of men and women. Like, even when women are killing themselves, they want to be tidy. They don't want to be a mess, which isn't funny. It's just quite interesting. And then other stuff. So that will include like gunshots, stabbing yourself, falling off buildings, jumping off buildings, or just jumping in front of like cars or trains, or just lying in front of them. That encapsulates 14.2% of the population. Out of those, I would assume the most common is jumping in front of objects. I don't know how accessible guns are in this country. I've never tried to buy one. But hanging, the most common there. I guess it's the most accessible and least scary. No one wants to drown, right? I don't know. But anyway, here's some famous men who have committed suicide. Here's Kurt Cobain, the singer and frontman of Nirvana. unfortunately shot himself when he was 27. 27, man. That's very young. And he was a very talented guy, very cool guy. Um, one of the most successful bands in history, I believe. It's not enough apparently to save someone. We also had Alan Turing, who died at 40, 42, 43, I think. Yeah, he's sort of the founder of modern computing. He cracked the Enigma code, basically helped win World War II for us, I guess. But he was gay, and that wasn't allowed back then. So they chemically castrated him, and he was so depressed that he killed himself. So that's absolutely brilliant. Thank God we were doing that back then. That's a joke, by the way, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't joke. But what a great man. All these people are great men, to be fair. And then we have Vincent van Gogh, or Go, I don't know. He killed himself at 37. And I don't think he ever saw the success of his own work. I don't think he believed in. I don't know. He sort of blew up after he died. And I'm sure everyone knows Van Gogh. I'm pretty sure I learned about Van Gogh when I was like 6, and everyone knows his paintings. He's very talented, very, very good painter. One of the best, possibly the most famous. Yeah, killed himself at 37. And then finally we have Robin Williams, who is a famous actor. He killed himself at 63. Really, if you know about him, really sweet, really nice guy. Really charitable. He's in one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting. He's a really good character in that. I think his death is the most recent out of all these. Yeah. Rest in peace, all these people. So here's some warning signs. If you're scared about any men in your life that are down, or I don't know, but these suicidal men, they will talk about suicide more often. This does apply for women as well, by the way. They'll be looking for a way to end their life, searching, Google searching, what's the best way, learning how to tie a noose, or like, I don't know, where the nearest train is. They'll be preoccupied with death, so always just talking about like, our world would be better off without me, or just morbid stuff like that along those lines. They'll have no hope for the future, obviously, because they don't want to be in the future. Obviously, there's an aspect of self-hatred, because they don't want to be here, right? That's why they hate themselves that much. They don't want to be here. They will be getting their affairs in order, so like making a will and making sure that's all sorted. They'll be saying goodbye a lot, so like randomly messaging their friends out of nowhere, like, oh yeah, won't see you for a while or something, or just, I don't know, something like that. They'll be withdrawing a lot from others. They don't want to be a burden to them. Self-destructive behaviors, so just putting themselves in positions where it's unhealthy, or like drinking loads of alcohol, gambling loads, taking loads of drugs maybe because they just know they're going to kill themselves. And then there's a sudden sense of like harm or like blunted effect. So that'll be just an air of like sudden nonchalance, sudden just not bothered about anything, because yeah, they know what they're about to do. So if you are scared about a loved one, or if you yourself are struggling with these things, or have suicidal thoughts, struggle with your self-esteem a lot, you can always talk to these suicide hotlines. They're free. You're not burdening anyone by doing that. There's some numbers there. It's be Samaritans, Sane Line, and the National Suicide Prevention Helpline. They're very helpful. I've volunteered for Samaritans before. They're very pragmatic. They get the job done, man. And there's a lot of training involved. But yeah, that is my PowerPoint. That is my infographic. We'll get the references up. There you go. And I hope you enjoyed my ramblings